The exchange zone around Caro's 9 was quiet enough to hear machinery breathe. Commander Elias Wren stood on the bridge of the UTS vigilant, hands clasped behind his back, eyes fixed on the forward screen where the neutral markers floated like indifferent stars. The war had paused here by agreement, not trust. Even so, the fleet held formation with disciplined calm, weapons cold, sensors polite. Humanity had kept its word. "Transmission incoming," Lieutenant Hale said, voice steady. "Dominion frequency. Authentication matches the exchange charter." Wren nodded once. "Bring it through." The screen shifted. A Carveth official appeared, kite and polished, posture rigid, eyes black and unreadable. Behind him, cargo pods drifted in ordered rows. He spoke with ceremonial precision, announcing the completion of the transfer. His tone carried satisfaction, not relief. "Open the pods," Wren said. Magnetic clamps engaged. One by one, the containers split. The bridge grew still. Inside, there were no living forms, no restraints, no signs of struggle left unfinished. The bodies were arranged, cleaned of blood, marked with Dominion sigils burned into fabric. Women. Soldiers. Medics. Engineers. Prisoners who had surrendered under treaty. No one spoke. The hum of the ship filled the space where breath should have been. Hale swallowed. "Commander, medical confirms. All deceased. Cause consistent with execution." Wren did not move. His jaw tightened, not from shock, but from comprehension. The Carveth official continued unbothered, explaining that the Dominion had deemed the captives unproductive. He framed the act as efficiency. As instruction. "Lesson received," the alien concluded. "Emotional excess weakens lesser species." The feed ended. For a moment, Wren let the silence stand. He knew the faces on the bridge, the stories behind the uniforms. He also knew what uncontrolled reaction would cost. "Archive the transmission," he said quietly. "Full fidelity. Timestamp everything." "Yes, sir." "Transmit to Earth Command." Priority read. "Copy every fleet in range." Hale hesitated. "All fleets?" "All," Wren said. Medical teams moved with careful hands, treating the dead with the same respect they would have given the living. A junior officer turned away, eyes bright, then squared her shoulders and returned to her station. No one asked permission to grieve. No one raised a voice. Wren stepped into the observation corridor overlooking the exchange pods. Through the glass, the stars seemed distant, as if the universe had leaned back to watch. He remembered his sister's laugh, the way she used to tap the table when thinking. He set the memory aside, not buried, just held. A secure channel chimed. "Commander," Admiral Shore said from Earth, face drawn. "We've received the footage." "Then you understand," Wren replied. "We do. The Council will convene. They'll urge restraint." Wren watched a medic drape a flag. "Restraint is not the same as submission." "Careful," Shore warned gently. "They'll provoke you." "They already have," Wren said. "We won't answer yet." "Your orders?" "Hold position. No pursuit. No retaliation. Not until every human has seen this and chosen clarity over impulse." A pause. Then, "Authorized." Wren returned to the bridge. "Open a fleet-wide channel," he said. The faces appeared, hundreds at once, ships and stations linked by shared grief. Wren did not raise his voice. He did not need to. "What you saw was not an accident," he said. "It was not war. It was a message. They believe compassion makes us predictable. They are wrong." He let the words land. "We will not lash out. We will document. We will remember. And when we act, we will do so together, under law, with purpose." Dismissed. The channel closed. Engines remained idle. Weapons stayed cold. Across the exchange zone, the Dominion pods drifted away, confident in the quiet they had created. Wren stood still as the vigilance lights dimmed to night cycle. He thought of promises made in good faith, of rules that kept wars from becoming slaughters. Somewhere, the galaxy waited for humanity to break. Ren did not give it that satisfaction. Not yet. Later, alone in his ready room, Ren reviewed the forensic summaries. The precision bothered him more than brutality would have. Every death timed, every record complete. This had been rehearsed. He keyed a private note, locking it behind command seals, listing names, units, hometowns. Not for revenge. For accounting. A knock sounded. Enter. Commander Voss stepped in, eyes steady, voice low. Crew morale is holding. They're asking what comes next. Nothing, Ren said. For now. Voss searched his face. Sir, permission to speak freely. Always. They think we'll be ordered to swallow this. That the Council will call it a misunderstanding. Ren closed the file. Then we will educate them. But not tonight. Voss nodded, relief and anger sharing space. Understood. When Voss left, Ren activated the memorial channel. Names scrolled in silence. No speeches. No music. Just acknowledgement. He stayed until the list ended, then longer, until the room felt honest again. On the bridge, Hale monitored Dominion traffic. They're celebrating, she said, disbelief threaded through professionalism. Internal chatter suggests they expect capitulation. Ren allowed himself a breath. Log that expectation. Yes, sir. The vigilant adjusted attitude, not toward pursuit, but toward home. A symbolic turn, subtle and unmistakable. Across human space, stations echoed the motion. The message was quiet and universal. Ren recorded a final entry for the day. We choose restraint because it preserves us, he said to the log. We choose patience because it sharpens judgment. When the time comes, we will act as humans do at our best. He ended the recording and dimmed the lights. Beyond the hull, the exchange zone returned to emptiness. The Dominion had mistaken silence for surrender. Ren knew better. Silence was preparation. In the quiet, orders propagated without flourish. Supplies staged. Charts updated. Messages queued and unsent. The fleet waited, not frozen, but poised. Somewhere far away, rules had been broken. Here, they were being rewritten. Tomorrow would demand resolve, not rage, and humanity would answer in full, measured voice, carrying memory forward without losing itself. That was the line. The Galactic Council chamber was built to intimidate. Elias Wren felt it the moment he stepped onto the central dais, the ceiling arcing high enough to swallow sound, the walls layered with insignias of civilizations that had risen, ruled, and vanished. The councilors watched from tiered balconies, their forms varied, their expressions carefully neutral. Power liked to pretend it was impartial. The evidence played again, projected without commentary. Cargo pods. Seals opening. The quiet arrangement of bodies. The chamber's acoustics magnified the stillness until it pressed against the skin. Ren did not look away. He wanted them to feel the duration. When the projection ended, murmurs rippled like static. The chair being, a long-bodied arbiter whose species had outlived 3 empires, tapped a crystalline gavel. The council acknowledges receipt of the materials. We recognize the distress. High Marshal XY Raquel interrupted with a dry, clicking laugh. Distress is a luxury, he said. Efficiency is survival. Ren turned his head slowly. You executed prisoners protected by charter. XY Raquel's mandibles flexed. We neutralized liabilities. Their presence compromised momentum. A counselor with iridescent skin leaned forward. Commander Ren, the Dominion cites cultural variance. Their codes do not supersede the charter they signed, Ren said evenly. Nor the exchange terms you certified. The chair being raised a limb. Restraint is advised. Escalation risks. Normalizing slaughter, Ren finished. He kept his voice level. If treaties are optional, so is your authority. The chamber stilled. Ren felt the attention sharpen, the calculation behind alien eyes. He pressed on, not louder but clearer. Prisoner protections exist to end wars. Break them, and you teach every battlefield that surrender is a death sentence. XY Raquel clicked again. Humans lecture because humans fear consequence. You cling to sentiment. We exploit it. Ren met the marshal's gaze. You misunderstand us. A counselor whispered to another. The chair being conferred with aides. The council proposes censure. It announced. Formal condemnation. Reparations to be negotiated. Immediate cessation of hostilities. Condemnation without enforcement is theater, Ren said. And reparations do not resurrect the dead. The chair being's tone cooled. Commander, the council will not authorize military action. Ren nodded once, as if expecting nothing else. Then note this for the record. Humanity withdraws from mediation. A low stir followed. XY Raquel's eyes brightened. You abandon your leash. Ren faced the chamber. We remove ourselves from paralysis. The chair being struck the gavel. This session is not over for us, Ren said, and deactivated his channel. Outside the chamber, the corridor hummed with diplomatic traffic. Ren walked through it untouched, escorted by silence. His aide, Mara Ionescu, fell into step. Earth is patched in, she said softly. Rout it, Ren replied. Admiral Shore appeared, flanked by civilian oversight. They refused, Shore said, stating the obvious. They chose delay, Ren said. Which is a choice? A civilian cleared her throat. Commander, public pressure is under control, Ren said. We broadcast truth. We do not inflame it. Shore studied him. You're asking for autonomy. I'm accepting responsibility, Ren corrected. A beat. Shore nodded. Granted. Within bounds. Ren inclined his head. We'll define them. Back aboard the Vigilant, the fleet channel reopened, this time restricted to command. Ren stood at the holotable as system maps unfolded, routes glowing, nodes pulsing. No targets were marked. That omission was deliberate. Protocol Black Mercy, he said. The name alone shifted the room. It had existed as doctrine, debated and shelved, a framework for enforcing law when law collapsed. No one had activated it. Ren continued. This is not retaliation. It is compliance enforcement. We identify military infrastructure that enabled the executions. We notify. We strike only after notice. We spare civilians. We document everything. Captain Voss frowned. They'll call it hypocrisy. They'll call it anything, Ren said. Accuracy doesn't require approval. Lieutenant Hale brought up intelligence feeds. Dominion forces are repositioning. They expect posturing. Let them, Ren said. We move quietly. A pause. Commander, Hale added. Crew request clarification. Morale is brittle. Ren considered the faces around the table, the discipline holding grief in check. Open a ship-wide channel. He did not pace. He did not perform. You saw what happened, he said. We will not answer with chaos. We will answer with law, applied without favoritism. If that demands force, it will be measured. If it demands patience, we have it. If anyone believes we are becoming what we oppose, speak now. No one did. Good, Ren said. Because restraint is our standard, not our ceiling. Afterward, alone, Ren stood at the viewport. Stars slid past, indifferent. He replayed the council's hedging, the way fear had dressed itself as prudence. He understood it. He rejected it. A secure message chimed. XY Raquel, unencrypted. You will break, the marshal sent. You always do. Ren typed a reply and erased it. Then another. He sent neither. Some lessons needed space. Mara returned with a datapad. Civilian leadership wants assurances. Ren took the pad. They'll have them. In writing. He drafted a brief directive, objectives limited, timelines defined, exit criteria explicit. 8 corridors pre-approved. Oversight embedded. No euphemisms. When he finished, he signed it and transmitted. The fleet acknowledged in unison, a quiet cascade of confirmations. On the bridge, the Vigilant altered course by a fraction. Across human space, other ships mirrored the adjustment. The movement was subtle enough to be missed by anyone not looking for it. Wren watched the stars settle into a new alignment. "Log the council session," he said. "Full transcript." Hale nodded. "Logged." "Append a note," Wren added. "Mercy is not a right. It is a practice." The Vigilance engines remained steady. No alarms. No cheers. Preparation unfolded like a practice ritual: checks, briefings, quiet hands moving with intent. Somewhere beyond the charted lanes, the Dominion waited for a tantrum. Wren allowed a thin smile, the kind that never reached the eyes. They would not get one. The first notice went out before the first strike. It carried timestamps, coordinates, and citations. No threats, no insults. Just facts. "This facility enabled the execution of protected prisoners," the broadcast stated. "Evacuate all non-combatants within 1 hour. Military systems must stand down." Across Carveth space, commanders laughed and ignored it. Elias Wren watched the countdown run on the holodable, the numbers shrinking with patient certainty. He had chosen the opening target carefully, a logistics relay that stitched together 3 fleets, staffed by officers who had signed the execution orders. No civilians lived within the ring. No schools, no hospitals. The law had been mapped before the weapons. "Timer at 0, Lieutenant Hale said. "Proceed," Wren replied. The strike arrived as a quiet rearrangement of reality. Kinetic lances cut power spines. Guidance arrays went blind. Docked warships lost synchronization and drifted like startled fish. The relay did not explode. It simply stopped being useful. A second broadcast followed, immediate and clinical. "Target neutralized. No civilian casualties confirmed." Silence answered. Then panic. Dominion channels flared with overlapping commands. Fleet captains demanded orders that never arrived. Wren watched the confusion ripple outward, contained, deliberate. This was not a storm. It was surgery. "Next," he said. The Vigilance task group split, each unit already briefed, each route pre-cleared. They did not chase. They did not overextend. They took nodes that mattered and left the rest intact. Every strike carried a notice. Every notice carried evidence. High Marshal XYR Cal's face filled the secure feed, mandibles tight. "You preach while you trespass," he hissed. "You will be broken for this." Wren met his gaze. "Stand down your execution cadres. Open your detention records. This ends now." XYR Cal cut the channel. Reports streamed in. Dominion arsenals locked themselves out when human codeworms found the same vulnerabilities Dominion auditors had ignored for decades. Command bunkers lost redundancy. Not a single civilian grid flickered. Captain Voss leaned closer to the table. "Surrenders increasing. They're confused by the broadcasts." "They should be," Wren said. "Confusion is preferable to fear." A young Dominion officer hailed on an open frequency, voice thin. "We complied with evacuation." "Why are you still here?" "Because compliance is the first step," Wren answered. "Not the last." Between strikes, the fleet paused. Wren used the time to walk the medical deck. He spoke with no cameras present, asked after sleep and hands and steadiness. He listened. The ship held itself together because it was treated like a living thing. Back on the bridge, Hale flagged a new development. "Third-party observers are recording everything. Council monitors. Independent feeds." "Good," Wren said. "They can see restraint in motion." A second wave unfolded, faster now. Dominion counterfire lanced out, angry and unfocused, scattering against decoys. Human ships did not reply in kind. They cut the cords that let the counterfire exist. XYR Cal convened his war council. Wren watched the intercepted footage without satisfaction. The marshal's posture had changed. The certainty was gone, replaced by heat. They refuse annihilation, one of XYRK's aides said. They refuse terror. Then escalate, XYRK snapped. The order fragmented his own command. Some units surged forward without coordination. Others hesitated, unwilling to die for a lesson that had soured. Ren seized the opening. Offer corridors, he said. For whom? Voss asked. For anyone who lays down arms. The corridors lit up on the map, bright and unmistakable. Ships peeled away, weapons dark, transponders open. Human escorts guided them through without comment. A Dominion captain broke down mid-transmission. You spare us after we attacked you? We spare civilians, Ren said. We spare those who stop. The captain powered down. Between actions, memories surfaced unbidden. Ren saw a field hospital on a dust world years ago, his sister handing water to a child who wasn't human and didn't care. He folded the memory into his resolve. It sharpened it. Another notice went out, addressed to XYRK alone. You taught your officers that mercy was weakness. You taught them wrong. End this. The reply came as a barrage. Dominion forces struck a minor outpost, killing no one but making noise. Ren did not flinch. Document, he said. Proceed. The response dismantled the strike group that launched it, engines disabled, crews captured alive. The broadcast that followed named the officers responsible, cited the charter they had violated, and offered terms. Across the galaxy, a pattern became visible. Humans did not rage. They enforced. Alien commentators struggled for language. Predator and savior did not fit. Judge came closer. On the Vigilant, Hale smiled for the first time in days. It was small and surprised. Sir, they're calling us predictable again. Ren allowed a breath. Only if you read the law. XYRK's final gambit came at dusk ship time. He ordered mass retaliation across multiple fronts, too many to stop cleanly. Ren anticipated it. He had built for it. Execute net, Ren said. Human ships moved as one, intercepting command signals, isolating units, severing coordination before volleys could align. The retaliation collapsed into noise. Dominion officers shouted into empty channels. The Marshal hailed, fury stripped to desperation. You deny us honor. Ren leaned forward. Honor isn't claimed by killing prisoners. It's proven by stopping. The channel died. When the last interception concluded, the map settled. The damage was extensive and contained. No cities burned. No refugees fled human fire. The ledger was clear. Ren closed his eyes for a count of 3, then opened them. Hold, he said. We wait. Outside the viewport, stars slid on, unconcerned. Inside, the fleet held a line that was not drawn in blood but in ink and intent. Somewhere, High Marshal XYRK realized he had misread the species he sought to teach. Humanity had shown its other side, not as a mirror of cruelty, but as its correction. The capture took place without spectacle. High Marshal XYRK's flagship went dark under layered interdiction, its engines silenced, its weapons locked in place by systems that no longer recognized his authority. Human boarding teams crossed the gap in plain suits, visors clear, rifles lowered. They moved with procedure, not triumph. Ren watched from the Vigilance bridge as the Marshal was escorted onto the screen, restraints minimal, posture rigid. XYRK's eyes searched for insult, for gloating. He found neither. Marshal, Ren said, voice level. You are detained under provisional authority pending adjudication. You fear to finish it. XYRK replied. You always have. Ren didn't correct him. You will be heard. Then judged. The transfer to the neutral tribunal station took hours. During the transit, Ren authorized relief corridors and medical deployments. Human medics treated Dominion wounded with the same quiet efficiency they had shown their own. Cameras recorded everything. No edits. No commentary. The tribunal chamber was smaller than the council's, built for clarity rather than awe. Evidence tables glowed with timelines and citations. Observers filled the gallery, council delegates, independent jurists, survivors from multiple species. The room hummed with expectation held in check. Wren stood when the proceedings opened, not as prosecutor but as witness. He spoke to facts, dates, orders, signatures. The executions traced back through command layers until they reached XYRRCal's seal. The marshal laughed once, sharp. "Your laws are masks," he said. "When tested, you chose war." Wren met his gaze. "We chose enforcement." A jurist from a neutral world leaned forward. "Marshal, do you deny authorizing the killings?" "I affirm necessity," XYRRCal said. "Deterrence requires pain." Wren spoke again, measured. "Deterrence requires credibility. You destroyed it." The jurist conferred. The gallery waited. Outside, fleets held position, weapons idle. The galaxy watched not for explosions, but for precedent. When the verdict came, it was unanimous. Guilty of treaty violation. Guilty of war crimes. Guilty of command responsibility. The sentence followed: removal from command, lifetime confinement, and mandatory disclosure of detention records across Dominion space. No execution. No exile. Consequence without spectacle. XYRRCal's mandibles trembled. "You deny me an ending." Wren leaned closer. "You had one. You chose this instead." The marshal was taken away. The room exhaled. In the hours that followed, Wren oversaw withdrawals with the same care he had applied to strikes. Human ships pulled back from disabled installations once compliance teams took over. Engineers restored grids. Aid convoys rolled through corridors that had existed only as promises days before. A council delegation requested an audience. Wren granted it aboard the Vigilant. The chair being appeared, posture altered, deference newly visible. "Humanity has established a standard," it said. "The council acknowledges your restraint." Wren inclined his head. "A standard only matters if it's kept. We propose revisions," the chair being said. "Enforcement mechanisms. Oversight." "Good," Wren replied. "Build them. We will participate." After the call, Wren walked the memorial corridor. Names no longer scrolled. The space held stillness without emptiness. He rested a hand against the glass, feeling the faint vibration of a living ship. Mara joined him. "Public response is complicated," she said. "Relief. Pride. Fear. As it should be," Wren said. "We showed capability and limits." On the bridge, Hale brought a final report. "Dominion compliance verified. Detention records released. Survivors located." Wren closed his eyes briefly. "Begin extraction." When the last convoy cleared and the last wounded was transferred, Wren recorded a closing address. "No flags. No music. We acted because rules matter," he said. "We stopped because rules matter. Remember both." He ended the recording and authorized the fleet's return. The Vigilant adjusted course, stars shifting into a familiar pattern. Engines remained steady. As the ship slipped into transit, Wren allowed himself a moment alone. He thought of the dead and the living, of the line humanity had drawn and held. Power had been exercised and then sheathed. A message arrived from an unfamiliar source, routed through open channels. A short line and signed. "We did not know this was possible." Wren typed a reply and sent it without flourish. "Now you do." The Vigilant disappeared into the lanes, leaving behind a galaxy quieter for having learned that mercy was not the absence of strength, but its proof.